I'm not saying it, which might create a problem. Oh, here it is, here it is.
Reminds me of Bob Curly.
Yeah. Some days I can't say why I'm feeling lonely. Some days I am too proud to ask for help. And I stumble through the noise, trying to find some peace. A stranger in the crowd, I lose myself. So I walk down to the river, where the troubles they can't find me. Let the waters there remind me the sun will be there when we wake. I walk down to the river, though I might not understand it. It's not always as we planned it, but we grow stronger when we break. So I walk down to the river. I walk down to the river. This raging world can get so overwhelming. Looking for a meaning when it won't make sense. In my head it's getting loud, like I can't outrun this cloud. No matter where I go, well, there I am. So I walk down to the river, where the troubles they can't find me. Let the waters there remind me the sun will be there when we wake. I walk down to the river, though I might not understand it. It's not always as we planned, but we grow stronger when we break. So I walk down to the river. I walk down to the river. Let the calm pull me under, far beyond the thunder, and tell me it will all be okay. Let the waves take all my worries, conquer them with fury, give me shelter and be my escape. I walk down to the river, where the troubles they can't find me. Let the waters there remind me the sun will be there when we wake. I walk down to the river, though I might not understand it. It's not always as we planned it, but we grow stronger when we break. I walk down to the river. I walk down to the river. I walk down to the river. I walk down to the river, to the river. I walk down to the river.
Thank you so much. That's Jim Lakin singing The River by Josh Groban. And we welcome you to Unity of Bon Air on a beautiful Sunday. Let's get things started the way we always do, by affirming that God is good and all is well. You can stand. What a wonderful morning, beyond compare. I feel God's loving presence everywhere. I am filled with joy profound. In a world where many miracles abound, in the garden of my soul, I am happy and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. In the garden of my soul, I am happy and whole. I know that
Can Okay, this is what you get when you don't do a sound check. I am multitasking today. I was one of your greeters out front. I hope that stays in there. Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Bon Air, where we express unconditional love and we grow together in peace and prosperity. Oh, good. All right, thank you. Okay, good.
Sherry, can you cut it down just a bit? It's starting to feedback. Yeah.
My mic is hot. And I'm out of breath because our music team, aren't they amazing? I'm telling you, getting our juices flowing this morning. My name is Amy Fulcher Davis, and I'm happy to be your service leader this morning. And I was out front greeting. Got a lot of new folks here today. I'm excited. And also it is my sacred privilege to serve on your board. And wherever Spirit guides, I'm there. Whether this is your first time or your 100th time, we're really excited and grateful for your presence. For we come together as part of love's divine purpose that calls forth in each one of us to celebrate that connection through the holy presence that we call God. In that spirit of love and light, we unfold all spiritual gatherings, all religious meetings, and all people everywhere. This is one of my favorite parts. We're especially glad that you're here today, and we want to take just a second to say thank you to Marcy in our bookstore, our music team, Claudia, Lucy, Julie, Sherry, Veronica, and our ushers that were out front. We want to say thank you so much. We really appreciate you. Yes, for those of you that are Fellowship Coffee, oh my gosh, yes. You came in and you saw a hustle bustle of people in the kitchen that were preparing for us to be together after service this morning. Thank you, Reverend Patty. And now, as tradition, we would like to say our unity blessing for all of our volunteers. So if we raise our hand, our unity blessing is we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are, and we see you doing amazing things. And speaking of amazing things, I want to introduce to you one of our blessings here at Unity of Bon Air, and that is Melody Neal. She is our leader of our YFM.
Thank you, Amy. Good morning, everyone. We do have lots of new people, including some new kids today, so I'm really excited for that. Our older kids are going to be with Mo Regalinsky, who is going to help me out in YFM today. And you guys are going to start working on what it is that we want to have for our artwork and stuff for our Harry Potter theme, because we are going to be doing Lumendorf, which is a way of teaching unity principles using Harry Potter series. So we will be starting that in the fall. And so the kids are excited for that, and they need to start designing our rooms and figuring out what we need to do as far as a fundraiser so we can get monies to do all of this. And so that's what Mo will be doing today. And then I'm going to take the little kids and we're going to do some Montessori stuff most likely. Okay. So if I could have all my friends come up here, all the kids. start calling by name. Y'all don't want me to do that. Come on up. All right. And now, if we can all say our prayer, our blessing for the kids, and then I believe they will sing this out. So, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are, and we see you doing amazing things.
We are walking as the light, as the light, as the light. We are walking as the light, as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light of God.
If there is anyone here for the first time today, would you please raise your hand? Because I know I meted and greeted some folks that were. We have our ushers would like to give you a packet and invite you especially to our fellowship today to participate and give us a chance to get to know you better. All right, next we're going back to our music team. We're going to have our congregational song. And we used to, pre-COVID, get up and move around in the congregation and hug each other or welcome each other with a handshake or elbow tap or whatever. But now what we're doing, I invite you to just look around and embrace the love that is here today.
And stand too. 1, 2, 1, 2. This is who we are, and we feel the love whenever we're together. This is why we're here, to serve the world and one another. We're being called to find a higher way, and to remember why we're here today. To love, serve, and remember. Love, serve, and remember who we are. This is where we grow, and we find the truth that always sets us free. And this is where we play and enjoy like-minded company. A place where we can share our joy and pain. A place where everybody knows your name. As we love, serve, and remember. Love, serve, and remember who we are. All right, Lucy's going to play for a second while we look at all the love in the room. Any minute we're going to start singing again, so don't wander away. Here goes. A place where we can share our joy and pain. A place where everybody knows your name. As we love, serve, and remember. Love, serve, and remember who we are. Let's sing that one more time. Love, serve, and remember. Love, serve, and remember who we are. Yay.
You know, Unity of Bon Air, we always have transformational opportunities. So this morning, I want to share some of our opportunities. Part 2 of new members is going to be with Reverend Patty today in her home. So at 12:45, meet Reverend Patty somewhere at the front door. Say, at 12:30, okay. And our seniors, Mark Fortney, where are you? If Mark would stand up. The seniors today are going to the Cultural Arts Center at Glen Allen to see Noises Off. So that's at 3:30 this afternoon, or 3 o'clock, I'm sorry, 3 o'clock. So if you want to see that or go with them, talk to Mark. The grief group has been meeting here at 1:30 on Wednesday afternoons for 6 weeks. And this past week, Reverend Patty and Reverend Lisa Marks, who have been facilitating this, hosting this in great love, with the group decided that in August they would meet on August 10 and August 24. And if you're interested in the group, please call the office to get more information. Our protocol committee has met within the last few days, and our recommendation right now is we encourage folks to practice good health, washing our hands, wearing a mask. It's not mandated, but we do encourage that you wear a mask. And as much as we want to hold hands during the peace song, we're encouraging folks to just be with one another. But that's the basic thing where we are right now. I actually was trying to find a cape so I could wear with my mask this morning. We went to the movies yesterday, and Superhero Pets is playing, and all the cast members there were wearing capes and masks. So I want to share something personal before I get to the daily word. We are spiritual beings in moving through life in a human experience, in a human body. And sometimes the two don't quite jive. And one of the things that we have a Unity publication, the Daily Word. And even though I don't realize it, when I most need that daily word, it comes before my eyes. So those that know me pretty well here at church know this week has been quite a week for me personally in faith, unity principles. So this morning when I go to read the daily word before I get up here, I went, oh my goodness, God is good.
All the time.
Never fails, never fails. The unity word today is let go, let God. Do I hear an amen? Amen. And our affirmation is I bless myself when I let go and let God. If I find myself ruminating over a concern or a weighty decision, I release its grip on my attention by letting go and letting God. When I let go, I am placing my trust in divine mind, the source of infinite potential. I believe there are solutions and remedies of which my limited human mind simply can't conceive. When I let go, I'm trusting the grace of God will bless my life in the most wondrous and even surprising ways. Letting go and letting God is how I live my faith. I surrender to spiritual truth, the presence and power of God, and believe the best outcome is going to be so much better than anything I can imagine. I affirm I let go and let God, and breathe and relax into knowing I am deeply loved and abundantly blessed. Our scripture this morning is from John 14, chapter 14, verse 1. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. So our affirmation is I bless myself when I let go and let God. So let's say it 3 times together with great vim, vigor, and zeal. I bless myself when I let go and let God. I bless myself when I let go and let God. I bless myself when I let go and let God. All right. Be blessed.
Thank you, Amy. Amy just blesses us by doing that and so many other things around here. We are, and she always makes me laugh too, and I'm a big fan of that. So somebody sent me the joke of today, and if anybody finds wonderful jokes, I encourage you to do that. They're tough to come by sometimes. So Gail Corville sent me this one. So it's the Dalai Lama is speaking and is saying, if you ever think that you're too small to matter, try to go to sleep with a mosquito in the room. Profound and funny both, pretty good. And I do want to share an announcement. So the new members are coming to my house to eat. Now, there could be some concern. I'm an unknown cook. And so I'm just giving you fair warning. We had a wonderful celebration of life service yesterday, and there was lots of food left over. So our fellowship team is actually preparing all that food that people can actually have some lunch and not just snacks today. So if the new members are feeling very nervous, run in and get a piece of fried chicken, and then you can come to my house. But everybody who can plan to stay and eat and enjoy one another and have some of this delicious food. And these flowers were left over from our service. We celebrated the life of Caroline Gray yesterday. It was just beautiful. So let's take a deep breath. Relax our shoulders. Intentionally move our consciousness from this busy, busy mind down into our heart, where we can find that stillness, that peace, that unending source of love from which we spring. And just breathe that in, the peace, the love, the limitless possibility. So now we just open our hearts and send this out into the room. We just give each other a shower of all of the love in this room together. Let it wash over us. And into this sacred space, we bring all the prayers that are in our prayer box. We bring our loved ones who are healing right now. Frank, who's still in rehab, we bring him into this circle. And Finelli is having a health issue right now. We bring her in. Anyone that is close to our hearts that we are concerned about, you can say that name out loud or say it silently and put it into this center of love. Now we extend beyond these people in a pretty limited circle. We bring our world into this love. A world that has so many ways of, societal ways of helping people feel separated and telling them stories that they are not one. We bring our children, we bring our world leaders, we bring those who are in war-torn circumstances, we bring those who do not have enough food, we bring those who are struggling with not having work. In this space, there is care and abundance and plenty for everyone. And we see and envision a world that works for all. And we bring those parts of ourselves that think we're too small to make a difference. And we invite that part to tune into our Christ Center and recognize that is not all true. And so with great joy, we close with gratitude as we do every Sunday with our statement, I am grateful 3 times. Please join with me. I am grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful. Then our statement of truth is coming up. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the omnipotent good. And then we have a really special song this morning. Claudia's going to tell you about it.
I just would like to dedicate this song to Reverend Dwight Smith that passed away. He let me know numerous times how much he loved this song and teased me that I didn't sing it enough. So I'm singing it today for you, Dwight. I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing I need to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. So I love myself just the way I am. And I love you the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. When I feel love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So till the birth of peace on earth, that love can only love can bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. I love myself the way I am, yet still I want to grow. But change outside can only come when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. Oh yeah, I love myself just the way I am. That's for you, Dwight.
Thank you, music team. And if you have not seen, Dwight's Celebration of Life service will be here August 13th. That's a Saturday at 2 o'clock, and we hope everyone will come and celebrate the beloved light he was here. Well, for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to be basing my talks on a book by Alan Cohen called Dare to Be Yourself. And the subtitle is long and hairy, but it's great. How to Quit Being an Extra in Other People's Movies and Become the Star in Your Own. So we're starting today with loving ourselves. When we anchor in knowing that we are loved and we fearlessly love ourselves, the world becomes an exciting adventure in giving and receiving love. So, of course, one of the favorite scriptures connected to this has been Matthew 22, love your neighbor as yourself. Some would say loving yourself is selfish, is self-centered. And maybe if it's the ego self we are talking about, yes, but what if we're talking about the self with the capital S, the Christ in us? That's a different deal. That is loving the divine that sources us. That is loving the truth of who we are. That is loving God. And we know that we cannot pour out into the world that which we do not have. And when we have not learned to love ourselves, it's next to impossible to love another person. So I'm going to start with an amazing story that I found this week and then move into some practical tips. So this is about a man named Dr. Frank Mayfield. Was touring Tewksbury Institute, which is a medical center place in Massachusetts. When on his way out, he accidentally collided with an elderly lady, a floor maid. So to cover this awkward moment, he started asking questions. Well, how long have you worked here? And she said, I've worked here almost since the beginning of this place. Well, I don't think, what can you tell me about the history of this place? He said. She said, I don't think I can tell you anything, but there's something I can show you. With that, she took his hand and led him down to the basement under the oldest section of the building. And she pointed to him something that looked like small prison cells with their iron bars rusted with age. And she said, that's the cage we used to keep Annie Sullivan. Who's Annie? The doctor asked. Annie was a young girl who was brought here because she was incorrigible. Nobody could do anything with her. She'd bite and scream and throw her food at people. The doctors and nurses couldn't even examine her or anything. I'd see them trying with her spitting and scratching at them. I was only a few years younger than her myself. And I used to think, I sure would hate to be locked up in a cage like that. I wanted to help her, but I didn't have any idea what I could do. I mean, if the doctors and the nurses, if they couldn't help her, what could someone like me do? I didn't know what else to do. Her theology is very close to mine right here. So I just baked her some brownies. One night after work. The next day, I brought them in. I walked carefully to her cage, and I said, Annie, I baked these brownies just for you. I'll put them right here on the floor, and you can come and get them if you want. Then I got out of there just as fast as I could because I was afraid she might throw them at me. But she didn't. She actually took the brownies and ate them. After that, she was just a little bit nicer to me when I was around. And sometimes I talked to her. Once, I even got her laughing. One of the nurses noticed this, and she told the doctor, and they asked me if I'd help them with Annie, and I said I would if I could. So that's how it came about that every time they wanted to see Annie or examine her, I went into the cage first and explained and calmed her down and held her hand. This is how they discovered that Annie was almost blind. After they'd been working with her for about a year, and it was tough sledding with Annie, she went on to study and became a student at the Perkins Institute for the Blind. They were able to help her, and she went on to study, and she became a teacher herself. Annie came back to the Tewksbury Institute to visit and to see what she could do to help out. And at first, the doctor there didn't say anything. And then he thought about a letter he just received. A man had written to him about his daughter. She was absolutely unruly, almost like an animal. She was blind and deaf, as well as deranged. He was at his wit's end, but he didn't want to send her to an asylum. So he wrote the Institute to ask if they knew of anyone who would come and work with her at his home. And that is how Annie Sullivan became the lifelong companion of Helen Keller. Whew. When Helen Keller received the Nobel Prize, she was asked who had the greatest impact on her life. And she said, Annie Sullivan. But Annie said, no, Helen. The woman who had the greatest influence on both of our lives was a floor maid at Tewksbury Institute. Wow, the power in that story is amazing to me. But why should we be amazed? We all know what love does, right? What love is all about. But here, and Annie, this little piece didn't say, but Annie grew up in really abject poverty, and she got an infection at the age of 5 in her eyes, which is what led to her blindness. So she had a really tough road to hoe. So, you know, I'm thinking she can't see, she's full of fear, and strange people are coming at her. Well, I think I'd spit and scratch too, you know? I mean, she's trying to defend herself when help is literally on the way, but she doesn't understand that. And she hadn't had the kind of upbringing where she was cradled and loved and felt all this care and concern, so she didn't know what was up. So when somebody takes the time to extend the smallest amount of love to her, then this person becomes a person that changes her life. Just inspiring. So these are some takeaways from, I've done different articles, listened to podcasts, and read some books this week on, so what are some things we can do to do self-love? So they're very basic. And so I'll have to confess that I'm probably talking more to myself than to any of you. You know, we talk about the stuff we're working on, and I've been, somebody in the kitchen threatened to do an intervention on me because I wasn't taking very good care of myself. And the other night I came home from work, and I was so tired I crawled on my bed. And I woke up in the middle of the night, I didn't brush my teeth, nothing, and woke up and I thought, why am I wearing shoes in bed? So I kicked my shoes off, and then I woke up in the morning, I was still in my clothes. It was like, wow, so I'm trying to figure out this self-care thing, as all of us are. So the first thing is, Louise Hay is really big on this, and there are things you can go look up on YouTube about her to do mirror work. So just like when we're building physical strength, muscles, self-love takes consistent practice. And Joyce was big on sharing these tips too. Look into your own eyes in the mirror and say, I love you. And she also recommended having a childhood picture of you, like in your bathroom or somewhere that you see often. And, who can resist the innocence of somebody in a childhood? And Joyce would always say, stand naked in front of the mirror and hug yourself, saying, I love you, I love you, I love you. So, it seems a little outrageous, right? But what's outrageous if it gets us to this place where we realize the truth of who we are? And then another twist I learned in Ann Arbor was a woman was teaching to get either skin lotion or do this in the shower with soap and just have something slick and smooth on your skin and be rubbing it and saying, I love you, I love you, I love you to myself. And this woman made a pretty brash declaration. She said, if everybody in the world did this, we'd have world peace. So she said, either go for clean, soft skin, and while you're at it, world peace. I like that kind of thinking. Then the second part of this, do mirror work and focus on being someone who loves. That is, allow love to flow through you as often as possible. Focus on what you love about the people you meet. Focus on what you appreciate while going to the store, sitting in a meeting, or while speaking to someone. Simply adjust your body to positive emotions by finding as many things to love and appreciate as possible. So if we're with a person, we can be appreciating that. If we're driving in the car, we can say, oh my God, look at that sunset over there, or look at the blue sky. Or we just find ways to be spreading our love, being someone who sheds love out into the world. So we're doing the mirror work to feed ourselves. We're doing the outside work because that raises our vibration. Second, tap into what it looks and feels like to be loved. So it's easier to be loving toward ourselves when things go as planned, when we succeed and people like us, but not so much when stuff falls apart, when we screw up or we get rejected. When we struggle the most, that's also when we tend to be the hardest on ourselves. So in those moments, we can ask ourselves how someone who loves you deeply would act. What would they say? What would they do? How would they behave? Odds are they wouldn't criticize, judge, and berate you. They'd offer you kindness, compassion, acceptance. And if you can't think about a specific person or memory, just imagine how the most loving human on the planet would be towards you. Then practice being that toward yourself. So when I was having this little self-love talk with myself the other day after the threat of an intervention, I said, so what would I say to a minister, a colleague, who was working very hard and not taking very good care of themselves? And I would say something like, well, you might as well take care of yourself, or you'll find yourself in the hospital and other people will be taking care of you, right? So I was going like, oh, okay, So then number 3, stop comparing yourself. Comparison is a killer to self-love because you have to step into a judging mindset to compare. Judging is a function of the ego, not of our Christ consciousness. So I'd like to remind you of the clip I showed a long time ago from Bob Newhart, where the professional therapeutic action was, stop it. Make a promise to yourself to stop using unappreciative language about yourself. Give it up. And Wheaton Gates says, this is crucial for us. I'm sure many, many people say that, but she's certainly one that stuck in my mind. It does not take you anywhere healthy, this critical stuff with ourselves. I love the quote. I had this on a plaque in my office in Ann Arbor. Be yourself, everyone else is taken. We aren't usually very nice when it comes to comparisons, right? Instead, we take our greatest flaws and compare them to somebody else's greatest success. So, in short, we're doomed to feel crappy when you get on that hamster wheel. So, we're an original. Love it and live it out loud. Instead, realize we write our own story. Realize that you can't compare your life to someone else's. That is not the life you're living. That you don't have the same script that other person has. We each have our own paths unfolding perfectly. Well, there are moments, I know this is a spiritual truth. There are moments when I don't get it. So like, why was I 20 years in the Catholic Church with blame and shame and guilt? Then I graduated to Methodist, then Episcopal, then Presbyterian. It took me over 50 years to get to Unity. Well, that was my perfect path. When we are ready, the next teacher appears. When we get tired of patterns that are disempowering, we give them up. Stop it, right? Instead, spend your time and energy to nourish and build your path. Stop comparing and allow yourself the gift of appreciating what you bring to the table and sharing that in joy. And this is the last step. Take baby steps to create the life you long for. Desires are powerful. Emily Cady says, desire is God tapping or knocking on the door of our heart. This is a God-given gift to us. And so to take action, turn those dreams into reality, is to honor and care for yourself. By taking daily actions, you signal that you're worthy of living the life you desire. It doesn't have to be big action, just small and consistent steps in the direction that stirs joy, care, and excitement. This demonstrates that you care and respect your dreams and thus yourself. Has there ever been a better time than to do that right now? I believe our greatest act of self-love is going back and back and back to our true identity, to knowing ourselves as an expression of love and not following what somebody else says. They get to follow what Spirit tells them. Nobody, we can only follow what Spirit tells us. Follow Spirit's lead, follow our heart or our soul's deep wisdom. All of the great and wise people who ever made a difference on planet Earth heard their soul's yearning and followed a purpose for their lives. My sister has this refrigerator magnet and she's not a big one, it's like the only one, that well-behaved women rarely make history. Following the truth of our being, we don't get accolades for that a lot of the time. But that's the only way to go if we're really serious about doing self-love. People such as Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and Nelson Mandela seem to have been driven by a self-defined purpose that they chose for themselves or they stepped into because love led them there. Now, we often think of such people with a sense of awe and respect, as if they were somehow different from us. Better, smarter, more saintly, or more courageous. Sometimes they hardly seem human. But the truth is, the only real difference between you and me and them is that they all seem to have a clearly defined life purpose to which they said yes, and then embraced with steadfast dedication and unshakable determination. you have that very same opportunity as well. Every single one of us has some special gift, some special interest, and it may change over the years, over time. Some special talent, some way of impacting the world so that it becomes a better place for everyone. Each of us have the potential to live at the level of Gandhi or Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King, all these greats. So the question we may ask ourselves is, am I willing to define, embrace, and hold fast to my divine purpose? Prayerfully, persistently, and patiently. If the answer is yes, then the impossible truly can become possible in your life. Now, finding and following your divine purpose is different from setting your goals. I thought this was really helpful. A goal is a tangible desire with an end result. But your divine purpose is really a way of living and being in the world, like following principles. For example, a goal might be to learn to paint with watercolor, but your divine purpose might be to bring joy to people's lives through your art. It's like a goal for me was getting through seminary and ordination. A purpose would be the presence of authenticity and love with each encounter, with each person, on each day. So we're going to have a little music, but we'll move into some meditation and we'll listen to Spirit in a few moments. But I want to close with an affirmation, and I don't have it printed up there, so I'm going to say it and then we'll say it together. So I'm going to say the whole thing, then I'm going to feed it to you line by line, because I need that kind of help. There is nothing that can stop me from transforming my life, opening my heart, loving myself, and sharing my love with everyone I encounter. So here we go. The first part of it is, there is nothing that can stop me from transforming my life. Together.
There is nothing that can stop me from transforming my life.
Opening my heart.
Opening my heart.
Loving myself.
Loving myself.
And sharing my love with everyone I encounter.
And sharing my love with everyone I encounter.
And so it is, and so it shall be.
Another great message, Patty. Let's take these words into our meditation. I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. I'm here to remind you how much you're truly loved. I'm here to remind you of your magnificence, to help you awake to all the wonder that you are. I long to show you all the joy you're worthy of. here to remind you how much you're truly loved.
So with that, those beautiful words, to remind us how much we're truly loved, that's when we come back into our center of our Christ consciousness. So let's take a deep breath. Allow ourselves to dive into that pool of absolute love. Allow ourselves to feel the peace that springs up when we abide in love. So I'm going to allow Spirit to have a moment with you and let you discover what is it that you need to do from these steps. It's the invitation to do mirror work to you and to become a being who loves, to tap into what it looks and feels like to be loved, to stop comparing yourself, to take baby steps to create the life you long for. Let's just go into silence and let Spirit speak those whispers to us. Here we go. There is nothing that can stop me from transforming my life, opening my heart, loving myself, and sharing my love with everyone I encounter. That is great news. So we close with gratitude for this power within us that leads us, that loves us, that guides us. We say together, I am grateful. Please join with me. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. And so it is. Now we invite our ushers to come forward, and if you are getting a physical offering ready, if you are doing pushing a button or just offering the gift of who you are to this incredible community, we hold that in our hands or in our consciousness, and we bless it, saying, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the joy of giving and receiving.
All right. We're gonna go back in time with this song right here. Take you to the hillbilly heart of the country. A song from the Carter family called "Keep on the Sunny Side." There's another way to practice self-love and self-care, right? There's a dark and a troubled side of life. There's a bright and a sunny side too. Though you meet with the darkness and strife, the sunny side we also can view. Oh, keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side alive. It will help us every day, it'll brighten all the way if we keep on the sunny side alive. Oh, the storm and the fury of today, crushing hopes that we cherish so dear. Clouds and storms will in time pass away. The sun again will shine bright and clear. Sing along. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side alive. It will help us every day, it'll brighten all the way. It will keep on the sunny side alive. Let us greet with a song of hope each day. Oh, the moments be cloudy or fair. Let us trust in the Spirit always to keep us, everyone, safe in His care. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side alive. It will help us every day, it'll brighten all the way if we keep on the sunny side alive. Will you take a solo? Woo! Yeah, give us some love. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side alive. It will help us every day, it'll brighten up the way if you keep on the sunny side alive. One more time, yeah. Keep on the sunny side, always on the sunny side. Keep on the sunny side alive. It will help us every day, it will brighten up the way if we keep on the sunny side alive. If we keep on the sunny side alive. If we keep on the sunny side alive. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. They get us moving. So we're almost ready to run out the door and get that food, right? Okay. So let's bless these gifts. Divine love shows up in these offerings, shows up in each person present here, present watching now, or at another time. Love is just flowing and growing and multiplying. So we send this love out into the world, knowing the gift and the giver are one, that what goes out comes back. Everyone is blessed. And we say, thank you, Spirit. And so it is. Amen. So is our closing sentence coming? Yes. The service is now ended and our ministry of love continues. And I invite you to stand up and join with me in the prayer for protection. Then we'll sing our way out. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.